President, and I'm pleasure to be your MC for this wonderful event. Thank you so much for having me today. This task of introducing our guest of honor and speaker is a great privilege. I know this one is difficult, but the thought that she is a woman of virtue and simplicity, she is a living inspiration to the young ones. We are so lucky that she really find a way to be with us today. Despite of the distance and her hectic schedules, our guest of honor and speaker is Ilongga, and proud Filipino scholar, academic, lawyer, judge, author, and stateswoman who serve in all three branches of Philippine government. These are judicial, executive, and legislative. And she was named of the 100 most powerful women in the world in 1997 by the Australian. She is the daughter of Miriam Defensor and Benjamin A. Defensor. She graduated Bachelor of Laws cum laude from the University of the Philippines College of Law in Diliman. She went on fellowship to the United States and earned a Master Laws and Doctor of Juridical Science degrees at the University of Michigan Ann Arbor. When asked about her, who she is may not be a surprise. After all, she had become the person she is now because of the virtues and values that was developed by her own mind. Many may be said by others our guest of honor and speaker, account of tales of stories, true and untrue, but what remains to be good and true is the fact that this woman of the hour is a woman incomparable to her genuine intentions to fulfill her chosen vocation as a devoted and dedicated public servant, not necessarily the rich people, but more her fellow who needed much help and attention. She had lived a very simple life ever since, and is known to be undemanding despite her position and stature in life. You cannot seem to agree, much less reconcile with the thought of a pedigreed woman spending hours in her office, such a globally famous personality, because of her legal brilliance and courageous example in fighting corruption. And with her position in the government, not only that she brings hope or enlighten us. And now, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, I feel very proud to present to you the senator member of the Philippines and the embodiment of a miracle worker. Please help me welcome Honorable Madam Miriam Defensor Santiago.
Thank you, Miss Rividad. And please be seated. Today, as a fresh graduate, you will find yourself in the prime of your life. Young, beautiful, and full-fledged member of the intellectual elite of Philippine society. You will never feel as young, as beautiful, and as intellectually stimulated as you are today. Therefore, grab life. Grab it with both hands. Change the world, but first, change yourself. To help you in your life's journey, although suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome, I drove nearly 2 hours to share with you the lesson I learned from life. Today, you feel immortal. Para bang kaya mo ng lahat at di mo na iniisip ang buhay dahil masagana ang buhay sa edad ninyo. You cannot admit that possibility of any accident or calamity or tragedy that might mar your life. You cannot possibly contemplate an end to your life or the life of those whom you love. But I assure you, the devil never sleeps and lurks all the way. And I promise you, middle age will come and old age will beckon. By that time, I will no longer be with you. So let me tell you about the lessons of life. that life has taught me. For the sake of brevity, I will focus on the moral life in an extremely limited lifetime. Pag-graduate nyo, dapat ang una nyong gagawin ay pasalamatan nyo ang magulang at kamag-anak nyo. Nagsakripisyo sila eh. Pagkatapos, pasalamatan nyo mga professors nyo. Some of these professors you probably dislike or even hate. Pagkatapos, concentrate ka, maghanap ka ng trabaho mo, magpakita ka ng talino at sipag. Ma-promote ka ng ma-promote, pagkatapos makabili ka ng bahay mo. Pagkatapos, makabili ka ng unang kotse mo. Magkakaroon ka ng unang asawa mo. Uso na kasi ngayon, maraming asawa eh. But after you reach my age, you'll ask yourself, what is all this for? Since I came from UP, I have been granted the presumption that I have an analytical mind. I have seen it in my house surrounded by all money can buy and ask myself, what is all this for? I read until midnight. I read until I was cross-eyed. When I was in UP, ito lang pala ang aabutin ko. I have children. I lost one. Remember I told you, you can never predict what life has in store for you. It is easy for an MBC student, particularly a freshman, to claim that life is meaningless. I remember when I was in Oxford, they played me on trick. They always say, prove to me that your God exists. Of course, there was no proof. They will tell me then, I will show to you that your God is powerless. Then they will stand in the middle of the square and lift their hands to the sky. God, if you exist, strike me down, dead me right now. Then they count up to 10 and tell me, see, your God is powerless. That is the temptation of scoffing at everything that you find. But I strongly oblige you against this arrogance attitude. If life has no meaning, then every person should commit suicide, which constitutes surrender to disillusionment. After graduation, you will find eventually various world religions. All religions share that the final human purpose is to reach a stage of wisdom, compassion, and bliss. In other words, heaven, or whatever you might call it, assuming for the sake of argument that life is meaningless. Still, you are bound to. And the slogan says, dare to become what you are. Look into your heart, and you find who you are. Even if you believe that there's no God, and that there's no worlds other than planet Earth, I propose to you that we are the creators of our own values. You asked me, what is the meaning of life, Miriam? At my age, I answer you, you make the meaning of your own life. There is no set formula. There is no set calculus to answer this question. I propose that the supreme value is assertion of. Always assert life, not death. And the next supreme value, the will to triumph over evil. Look around. Ang maraming masama at di tama. Ayusin mo. Sa halip na magreklamo ka na magreklamo, kaya ka binigyan ng gabay na makapag-graduate, ay para makatulong makatulong sa lipunan. At hindi para makapagmalaki sa sarili mo at sa pamilya mo. Walang kwenta yon. Linagay ka dito, kung ano man yon, ang layunin na yan, hanapin mo. Ikaw mismo gumawa ng layunin mo. There is no proof that God exists. But then again, there's no proof that God does not exist. The existence of God cannot be proved, means that God's existence cannot be rationally demonstrated. You cannot know God. Kasi akala ng mga senador, God sila. You cannot know God, but we need God. Hence, God is the necessary unknown. We are led to believe that we don't have intended options for the meaning of life. One option is to believe that life is predestined. Another option is life is random. Neither option sounds intelligent. If we look at it this way, a designer of a universe is highly probable. As a graduate of not only a law, but also a theology, I think my best legacy to emphasize that God is neither up above or out there. Instead, God is found in here. Meaning, the human mind. That is why you are not only graduating with a bachelor's degree today, you are graduating to place nearer where God is. Because God is in here. God is in you. We are all God's children, which means anyone has a spark of the divine. Look into yourselves, and you will find that spark. The best life protect is loving relationship to God that is based on forgiveness of others. So I forgive my enemies. Huwag lang sila magpakita sa akin. If you are able to resist pride, we will realize that, unlike the crooks, we should treat person not as means but ends in themselves. Nothing that any person does, no matter how rich or famous, really matters. Sa edad kong to, yun ang na-realize ko. What matters is the faith to believe that something better than nothing. If life contains evil, then the value of life is the constant and conscious revolt against evil, particularly when it wears the face of corruption and poverty. For evil to thrive, it's sufficient that good men shall do nothing. Go out of the campus, and no matter what career, go to activist politics, and strike corruption. If this complex but orderly universe could emerge from the Big Bang, then the universe could have been created only by a mind of this indescribable magnitude. The greater cannot come from lesser. There is a supermind behind this universe. Good luck, and may your supermind God guide and protect you. I'm going to recite you this familiar poem. It's called Invictus, which means undefeated. I would love to read this with my usual gestures, but the wind is against me. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I think whatever gods may be, for my unconquerable soul. In the fell of clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath in tears, looms but the horror of the shade. And yet, the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thank you very much. And once again, graduates, congratulations.
This closing program of ours is a wonderful occasion where we in the school administration and faculty feel foremost your overwhelming support for our mission and vision as a school community. We would like to thank for the trust that you have placed in us as your children's second parents. In this regard, we now hope to encounter an all-out support and cooperation between parents and teachers to ensure that your children have success here in school. I hope that as we go ahead of our lives, we will encounter parents like you more often. Thank you for allowing us to see firsthand the great things that can be accomplished in the life of a child when parents and the teacher work together for the best interest of the child. In the outset, I would also like to convey my sincerest appreciation for our guest of honor and speaker, Madam Miriam Defensor Santiago. You have come with the parents and teacher associations, humble invitations, and with that, what else can we say but you are a woman of concern? To our dearest teachers who really gave their best to make this program a success. Congratulations to us. Thank you everyone.